Welcome to the Chef's Pantry. It is that time of year where we are getting busy hosting friends and family in our kitchens. I'm Anna Rossi, and I'm so excited today to be taking you inside KAM Appliances, and we're going to be firing up the beautiful Thermador kitchen, and I am going to show you why induction cooking is the workhorse in the kitchen. Look at this gorgeous Thermador kitchen. Design, technology, beautiful appliances. These are the kind of spaces that get me really excited to get cooking. And today is all about holiday staples for entertaining that we want to keep in our front pocket, so we have some great, delicious food on hand when the doorbell rings, right? So I have some amazing short ribs that have a perfect New England twist for us, paired with a little pumpkin polenta, some smoky Gouda. You're gonna love it. Some chocolate bark that's great for gifting. I love gifting food, right? That's what we do in the Chef's Pantry. And to start, a little sip, a little nod to Glögg that is a mulled cider. But let's talk about this beautiful induction surface. This is where the action is going to happen. What I love about this is that you get the safety, the environmental benefits, and also as a chef, a lot of control. So whether it's that low heat to go low and slow, we're going to do right here with our delicious mulled cider, or super high, like we want to sear and braise our short ribs. It can all happen with what we have going on here. When it comes to a great spiced cider, what I love about my memories of Glögg, having them in Swedish markets, is that you have this essence of spice. So here we have the base, because it's New England, of delicious apple cider. But I also have some cardamom and fennel seeds that I want to give a little toast to so they can awaken, let those oils start to release in the warm, dry pan before we go ahead and add the juice. Then it also has some cinnamon sticks. You can add some honey for sweetness, or some agave or brown sugar, a little bit of lemon juice to really amplify that delicious apple flavor. And then at the end, you pull in a little bit of crunch and chew with some delicious slivered almonds and raisins. That's one of my favorite memories of tossing the glass back as we're strolling through the market. So already I'm catching a nice little aroma of the cardamom and fennel. And fennel is something that I often put with savory ingredients, but pulling it in to a little sweet sip is interesting. Pulling in ingredients and using them in new ways makes them really exciting. So I had the spices toasting on a medium heat, and I want to go ahead and bring this to a rapid boil. Bring it up to a simmer, let this steep like tea, and then drop the heat just a little bit. Okay, so here, let's go ahead and pop in some local honey. My dad is a beekeeper, and this is the gift that keeps giving for the holidays. So I know that the apples already have a really nice sweetness, so just a little touch to pull it to life, and then a little juice of the lemon. Now, let me show you, this is the stainless steel pan, but you have so many great options when it comes to compatibility on this cook surface. So whether you like to cook with a ceramic nonstick, a good old cast iron, or an enamel cast iron, all of these are friendly here. And a great way to test at home is just pop your magnet from the refrigerator onto the base of your favorite pan. If the magnet sticks, that means that it will thrive on this cook surface. Or if you have questions, you can actually bring your pot, like I did today, to the live kitchen here at KAM. It's great that they have the executive chef here. Everybody is super knowledgeable, so you have that comfort when it comes to really choosing and selecting the appliances that are going to bring out your most chef qualities, right, when it comes to your own home. So I can hear that there's a nice little simmer starting here. And this is something that I also like when you're looking at a surface like this, how easy it is to keep this clean. Also, this is remarkably energy efficient. Induction is a buzzword. If you are in the world of looking at recipes and following chefs, you're hearing this a lot, and that's because it works. You have magnetic technology that's activating the cooking pan or pot. So instead of using that middleman of like conventional electric heating the actual unit to then heat your pan, induction is also 10% more efficient than standard conventional electric cooktops. The thing that's really cool also when you think about that magnetic technology is that when the pan is removed from the cook surface, the heating stops because it is all happening right here. So that means that if you have a nice little bar of delicious chocolate you're nibbling on while you're cooking, right next to this pan, the work surface is not hot. Very cool. Also, as a mom, I like that with the kids running in and out of the kitchen. It just gives me peace of mind. Okay, we have a beautiful simmer. I'm smelling that delicious fennel and cardamom pods steeping here. Just going to add a couple little spoonfuls of the raisins and the slivered almonds. This is a mocktail, very family friendly, but I would not judge you if you added a splash or two of rum or maybe a little brandy in there. And then go ahead and pour it in, and that is the perfect sip. When I have extra citrus, I love to dehydrate them, so you could use a little fresh pinwheel of the lemon like that, or drop in a little dried wheel like that. Ooh, that's getting the party started. When we come back, we're gonna braise up our short ribs, simmer that beautiful polenta, and get that one pot wonder ready to go. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Chef's Pantry. We are holiday ready, getting those entertaining essentials in the back pocket at KAM Appliances, playing around with this gorgeous Thermador induction cook surface. So this is where we're really getting the party started, putting this to the test. We've got 3 pans going in, we've got the oven preheated, and this is where we bring a delicious main course center stage. We're going to make short ribs, but New England style. So think mulled cider, like the ingredients that we've used for that delicious winter sip. And we're putting some of those notes into this pan, along with a little pumpkin polenta with a smoky Gouda, and then we're going to garnish it with a little fried sage. Okay, so we have some beautiful browning happening here on the short ribs. Have you ever worked with short ribs before? They are an awesome, affordable cut of beef. They come from the lower cow rib, and they have some beautiful marbling on them. You also get the bone. That's going to give you that rich, delicious marrow flavor with something that goes low and slow from your cooktop into the oven. So what I've done here is given the beautiful short ribs just a generous seasoning of a little kosher salt, some cracked pepper, and then the little secret ingredient is a bit of za'atar. So za'atar is a Mediterranean spice, and it's awesome. I love these spice blends that bring so much to the table. So in just one little pinch, you're getting some great sumac, some sesame seed, and some other notes that are very aromatic and are going to be a lot of fun and take this up a notch. So here, hot pan, let's go ahead and drop the heat to medium. And I'm going to, now that I have some nice browning on all 6 sides of these beautiful short ribs, look, you can see it has that Maillard, that great texture. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off the heat and then pop them on the tray. Now, I'm gonna take advantage of that great juice that we have in the pan here and deglaze some beautiful sliced onion. The onion are so greedy when it comes to soaking in these beautiful flavors that we're going to build in the pot. This is an awesome make-ahead. You can assemble everything up to 3 days in advance. Okay, so you can see the onions are soaking in that beautiful beefy za'atar flavor here we have in the pan. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of crushed garlic. After I've given the onions a head start, letting them sweat and letting that moisture start to release the good stuff on the bottom of the pan, then I'm going to add the garlic. Garlic's a little bit more delicate in the allium family, so it doesn't need quite as much time with the heat. And then I'm just going to toss around. Okay, so the short ribs are going to want some great cooking juices when these go into the oven to braise, go low and slow. We're going to use a little apple cider. I also like, when I'm hosting a party, pulling in flavors that kind of walk through the dishes in different ways. So you have some aromatics that we popped into the little mulled cider. We're going to pull in some of those familiar notes in with this cooking liquid here. A little beef stock to get it nice and juicy. How about a little bit of clove? Those whole cloves are beautiful. They're also easy to strain out at the end when we go and make this super refined for serving. Some cinnamon sticks, 3, how about for good measure? And then a couple sprigs of sage, and then some other things. Maybe you have a little kitchen garden going, you want to pull in some rosemary and some thyme. Cooking with fresh herbs is such a great way to awaken a winter dish. And KAM actually does incredible cooking classes right here with their professional chefs. They did a great program with culinary herbs, with Beacon Gardens down on the Cape. I'm always loving getting inspiration in new places. Okay, rolling boil. Thanks to Thermador's beautiful induction cooktop, now we can go ahead and drop it down to medium, pop the lid on, and then put it in the oven. Thermador makes the most beautiful wall ovens. I mean, look at the capacity. This is great when you have some really substantial dishes to go in. Plus, how gorgeous are these? I love the gray glass. It has the beautiful color surface, the lights right there, so it's very visual and easy to see. Plus, this is Wi-Fi compatible. How great is that? You can sync it with your phone and not miss a beat. Okay, let's clean as we go, as all proper chefs do, right? So this is great about this type of induction work surface. As simple as a little dish soap on a wet sponge. You can just go ahead and give your glass a little wipe down, and then use a little microfiber towel to give it a nice little polish there. No scratches, it wipes up easily. I want to say this is perfect for neat freaks, but maybe this is even better if you're not so tidy, right? So it doesn't get in all those little nooks and crannies. Gordon Ramsay always used to say a clean kitchen means you have delicious food, and I think we are winning today. Okay, so I've got a little pumpkin polenta on the front burner. I was gonna say back burner, but there we go. Now, speaking of keeping things tidy, another thing that's really cool about magnetic science is what you can do to eliminate the mess to begin with. So you can actually put a little piece of newspaper down or a little paper towel if you are doing like some fish and chips, or like I should have probably done with the little oil spatters I was getting from the short ribs. So here I have a little avocado oil on pretty high heat, and for a little pretty garnish that we're going to pull in at the very end, I want to fry some sage leaves. Pinching from our pretty little herb garden is a great way to bring in those flavors in new ways. Also, you're gonna create a beautifully aromatic oil that's great in salad dressings, finishing off roasted potatoes, all those great things. And it's easy to do. So you're just going to delicately pull them out with your tongs, blot them on a little paper towel to collect the excess oil. And the one thing I like to do while they're still hot and impressionable is just give them a little sprinkle of some Maldon salt. It has a nice light flake to it, and that little balance of something that's really herbaceous with the flakiness in there will be a really pretty topping when we go to bring everything together. Best part is no mess. You don't see any splatter around that beautiful glass work surface. That is a good thing. Okay, the polenta, instant, long cook, your choice, but whatever it is, how about bringing in some really great cool weather flavors in here? So with a great base of some chicken stock or beef stock that's already going to give you a great salt content, when it starts to get nice and creamy, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of cheese. You could use fontina, you could use Gruyere, something with a really nice melt to it right at the end. You just want it to really soak in, take in that heat and get the ooze. But you know what I'm using today is a little smoked Gouda. Again, using one ingredient that's going to bring a lot of complexity and interest to a very simple otherwise dish. And then you can just add that little splash of some heavy cream. Maybe you want to pull in a little bit of butter. And then the best part, some pumpkin puree. Maybe you've also had a surplus of some butternut squash. That would also be really fun to puree and fold in here. Great side also thinking about holiday sides as you walk through the year. Get in my belly, that's what I say. And one last little touch, a little grating of some fresh nutmeg. This would also be nice to garnish if you're serving this family style on a bowl, right in the center there too. Okay, we'll let the cheese melt down and then we'll pull out our short ribs. So this has been cooking for about 3 hours. Should we see what kind of mischief we made here? Oh, Wow. Okay, right here is one thing that is a good indicator that we have had success. The bones are completely separated from that tender, delicious rib meat. Look at how they just pop right off there. You can see that the meat has a total jiggle factor. So awesome. And there are a couple of different ways that you can plate this. If you're doing family style, serve a big bowl of polenta. You could bring the Le Creuset or your oven-safe cookware right to the table. Give it a little garnish. I like to use frizzy curly leaf parsley. If I'm using it as a garnish, it holds its color a little bit better. But here, let's see, I think we'll do a single serving just for you and I today. Oh my gosh, look at that smoked Gouda, cheesy pull there. And I like seeing how it just sort of relaxes in the bowl as it hits it. So nice. Look at that, beautiful, decadent, rich, that sweetness of the apple flavor coming in there with that beautiful pumpkin note of the polenta, and then a little elegant sprig of fried sage right on top. So nice, whether it's dinner for one or two or a whole feast, great make ahead. When we come back, we've got something sweet, a delicious chocolate bark, great for gifting too. Back to the chef's pantry. I hope you came with a sweet tooth because it's time for dessert. We are getting ready for the entertaining season at KAM Appliances in their beautiful Thermador Kitchens showroom. So we have had some fun. We made a delicious mulled cider, think Glögg, but New England based, and then a gorgeous short rib with those beautiful apple cider and sage notes, that perfect blend of sweet with savory and all that great beef flavor. Now it's time to bring it home for all you chocolate lovers out there with some bark. I love making chocolate bark because it's something that you can do in advance. It's also great for gifting. There's so many different creative toppings that you can add to it. You can pop it on a cheese board. You can use it as a hostess gift. The sky's the limit. So all of you friends out there that like control, you got it here. This is what I love about the induction cooktop. I have this feature on melt. It's at 1.5 setting. I've literally put delicate little flakes of white chocolate here directly into my stainless steel pot. In the old days, I'd be using a heat-safe glass bowl over a little pot of simmering water to melt down the chocolate so it doesn't scorch on the bottom. But you don't need to do that on the Thermador induction cook surface. So here you have this beautiful velvety consistency of the chocolate, and we're going to lay it out on a little bit of parchment paper. Now, quality is the key here, right? This is the star, the chocolate. So I love grabbing a little brick of Valrhona at the grocery store. Any chocolate would work, but the better the chocolate, the better the bite, right? And then think about toppings that you like also that are visual and that are beautiful. So on this parchment paper that will keep it from sticking, I'm just going to give it a little swirl, a little feathering out on a relatively even layer. And then let me show you what we have here for flavors today. Some pistachio, some freeze-dried raspberries, so thinking about some of those colors of the season, and a little dusting of cardamom that we'll finish this off with. Lots of colors, some really unique flavors, and some fun ways to sort of pique interest. So I'm just going to sprinkle it around while the chocolate is nice and warm. It'll tack these down nice and easily set in there. And then some freeze-dried raspberries. One thing I love about the raspberries that have been freeze-dried is that they don't really have much of a chew to them. And another thing that you can do is use your finger and kind of create like a dust. It's super pretty, super chic, in a fun way, especially if these are going in little bags, right? You can bring it in. And then cardamom. We use the cardamom pods in our beautiful mulled cider. Bringing in a little bit of the dust in there is really nice. So we also have a little milk chocolate flavor combination here I did with some dried blueberries, a little bit of granola that had some seed and some millet, and a little bit of Malden salt. So whether it's candy canes that you're crushing for the kids with some pretzels, that's super fun, or you can make it really chic too. Okay, let's pop this in the fridge. I have fridge envy here. Look, this is the Thermador Freedom Collection 48-inch fridge, and it is huge and so beautiful and amazing. One thing about it that's really great as a chef is that it has dual compressors. So have you ever had that happen where your produce up top starts to freeze when you're trying to keep things in the freezer frozen? Well, with the dual compressors, you don't have that issue. I just popped the bark in the Thermoflex drawer, and what's amazing about this is that you get to decide the temperature. If you need it to be in a deep freeze, you have that. If you want soft serve ice cream, you can have a setting for that. Maybe you want cheese at the perfect temperature. There's a setting for that. In this case, we're going to be at a moderate refrigerator temperature just so we can have that chocolate set. So many opportunities to really customize it based on what you need as a chef. So about 20 minutes later, we have our beautiful canvas that is ready to eat. Look at this. Thanks to that parchment paper, it just slides right off. And then you can slice it up however big or small you want with a sharp chef's knife. So I am into things that are a little irregular. You could even snap it if you have a good hard chill to it, but this is so beautiful. And voila, we are ready for the entertaining season thanks to KAM Appliances. With our beautiful mulled cider, our slow braised short ribs with that pumpkin polenta and smoky Gouda tucked in there, and then our little sweet treat with the chocolate bark, as chic as you want it to be. Also, scan that QR code. KAM and Thermador have some great specials going on right now that you want to take advantage of. And thanks for cooking with me in the chef's pantry on this beautiful Thermador workhorse. I'll see you next week.